are taking you to a renovated windmill. We are taking you to a renovated barn. We are taking you to a renovated ambulance station.
We didn't renovate any of these places,
No,
but
we
we did stay on them in Airbnb in England, and you're going to get to see them.
In case you're new around here, I'm Caroline Zook. This is my husband, Jason Zook, and we run a business called Wandering Aimfully, which is an unboring coaching program for intentional online business owners.
Nice, finger guns. We traveled full-time this year in 2022, and we're taking you along on the journey.
Normally with these videos, we share with you a little bit of time that we spent in these different countries, what we did, but for this one, we decided that for our time in England, we just wanted to share with you 3 really special Airbnbs that we absolutely loved. So we're gonna take you on tours of all 3.
Now, we did eat things in England.
We did.
We did see things in England.
We did.
But the Airbnbs were really the most interesting part of this part of our travels, so that's what we're gonna share with you.
Let's start with the renovated windmill in Kent, England.
This windmill was an 1800s windmill that had obviously been renovated, because if it hadn't been, it would have been very weird on the inside and old and crusty, and it wouldn't have been fun to stay in. And long ago, it lost the blade part, so
That's
it's really
right.
just the structure.
That's right. So the structure of the windmill is basically divided into 3 floors. So you have sort of living room on the bottom, bedroom in the middle, and then bathroom on the top.
Now, the first floor of the windmill, the main floor, has a big outside deck area wrap around, so you can sit, you can sunbathe in that warm England sun that everyone raves about.
England's famous for its sun.
Yes, it is really nice though this time of year. We had a good time. But then you go inside on the first floor, very open living concept because it's a circular windmill and that's really the only option. But there is a living room, a dining room, and a kitchen, very well appointed. There's a dishwasher, all kinds of good things. It feels very modern.
Yep, and then moving up to the second floor, you just go up a little kind of spiral-ish staircase into the second floor, which is your bedroom. There's also a nice little sink so that when you brush your teeth at night, you don't have to go all the way up to the third floor, which is the bathroom. And in the bathroom, we have room for a clawfoot tub, which is dreamy. We have room for quite a modern shower. With
glass walls and everything.
Like
yeah,
a glass
very
enclosed shower. And that's where your toilet and your other sink are. And so yes, you heard that correctly. If you would like to use the restroom in the windmill, there are no walls. You just go up to the third floor and you tell somebody else to play their music really loud on the first floor.
Yeah, because you don't want to hear the other person pee, obviously. That's
Pee.
what we're all worried about here.
Pee.
Yeah, it's just pee. Everyone pees.
Like Jason mentioned, it does have a couple of modern amenities, but I would say that the design style of the windmill is very rustic, very cozy, and just very like warm, you know, old world with modern amenities.
Yeah, we actually stayed at a very like older rustic place in France earlier this year. That felt a little bit less livable than the windmill somehow, which felt extremely livable but also very rustic. So I think that she did a really good job in the renovation of this to make it feel old world charm but new world amenities.
Totally agree. So now we thought we'd tell you what are the aspects of this Airbnb that make it especially just memorable and unique. And for me, that has to be the amazing garden space that this windmill overlooks. I mean, the windmill by itself would be amazing, but the fact that you then can look out over this gorgeous, lush garden that Claire, the host, has basically cultivated over many, many years. We did actually get to have a tour of the garden.
Very nice.
And there's all these different little aspects to it. There are ducks and chickens and
Toulouse geese, which are very exciting.
All kinds of critters. She even has like an art she shed in the back.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. And Claire we stayed in 30 plus Airbnbs this year, the best host we'd had.
Incredible host.
There were farm fresh eggs handed to me in the morning, which was amazing. There was homemade bread that was left for us, and just everything felt so thoughtful in this place. And if you're gonna stay at a windmill, it's kind of the experience you want. So Claire knocked it out of the park, highly recommend.
Great. So that's what we absolutely loved about it. Let's talk about a couple of the maybe like downsides or less than perfect items.
Just for you to know.
Just for you to know in case you do actually want to stay there. Definitely the first one has to be one we mentioned already, which is just the bathroom being on the very top floor. There are no separate walls or anything.
Yeah.
And I just will say it is a little bit of a pain every time you want to go to the bathroom. You have to like creak up the spiral staircase.
Yeah, especially for those of us who are larger human beings. I'm 6'4". Spiral staircases are not really made for me. I kind of get tangled in them at times, but it was okay. I mean, we figured it out. We will say that this place is not the most accessible.
Right.
In fact, it's really not very accessible at all. So it's just something to think about if you want to stay here. If accessibility is an issue, it's probably not going to be a great place for you. But that being said, it was still doable for us.
Yeah, and I think overall the space, like you wouldn't want to stay there for a long extended period of time.
Like
probably.
the love seat was very small, the couch.
Although if you are into like tiny home living, that's definitely what you get. But just for us, we like a little bit more space, a little bit more room to kind of spread out. I will say though, for what I thought it would be space-wise, it felt more comfortable than I anticipated. Like the bedroom was very comfortable. The bathroom, like I said, was very spacious for it being on the top floor. So that part did surprise me, but probably not going to stay there for like weeks on end.
Yeah, and then probably the last thing is that there is no air conditioning. So we were actually there in the warmer part of the summer, and Claire mentioned just open the doors, you'll get a cool breeze. And I was like, I don't think you know how two people run hot work. But she was actually correct.
She was right.
There was a great breeze. So just something to think about. You're not going to have air conditioning and those things, but you're not probably going to stay at the Windmill for very long. So we think you'll be comfortable enough, but it's just something to know.
Now you might be wondering, how much does it cost to stay at the Windmill? And of course it varies by season, but we paid basically $237 per night. And as far as things to do in the area, I'm sure there are those things to do, but we just basically stayed at the Windmill for the couple of nights that we were there.
Yeah, there are a couple close towns that are nearby. I went and found some cinnamon rolls in one of them, which was my goal this entire trip. So yeah, there's some stuff to do, but really if you're going to stay at this place, you're going because you want a retreat, like a romantic getaway. And I would say that toilet on the third floor,
that's the most romantic
felt very romantic. Next up is the Dutch Barn in Wicken.
The Dutch Barn is a renovated barn that is basically out on a farm, and they have about 5 different connected units inside of this big barn.
Yeah, we stayed in one of the smaller ones, so they have a bigger one that's 2 floors, but this one was very much open concept. Again, you walk in right into the kitchen, dining room, then there's a living room, and right off of that is the bedroom. So there's not a lot of separation of things.
Right.
There's a big piece of furniture that separates the bedroom and the living space, and the bathroom is connected right there. So you kind of get everything in one, and I think we actually really liked that about this place.
Yeah, definitely. The style is more, I would say, minimal, Scandinavian, just very economical, I guess you would say. Not too many extra frills. We, of course, erring on the modern side, kind of love that.
We don't like a lot of frills.
Yeah, we don't need frills.
Yeah.
Just simple.
I'll take 1 frill, to be honest.
We will take a frill.
That's it.
So why did we love the Dutch Barn? Well, first of all, incredible light this place got. It had nice windows on both sides, and we were on the 2nd floor, so you actually got to see quite a bit of just like farmland. You're out in the country. I don't know, I just found it very light and bright and airy.
It was very peaceful.
Very
it was also
peaceful.
nice to be able to see sheep constantly.
Yes.
Now sometimes smelling the sheep could be one of those things that you might not be interested in, but we got used to it very quickly. And I think just the overall space was very livable, and we just found that like you kind of settled in very quickly. It felt like a home, but a very simple home.
Now, as far as the downsides, we will say not a lot of space. So for example, the bathroom is pretty small.
It's very small.
You're not gonna be able to, especially the unit we stayed in, you're not gonna be able to kind of like share that with a family. I mean, you could, but again, spaciousness is not key here.
Yeah, but you're not going up to the 3rd floor if you gotta go to the bathroom, so that's a plus. But yeah, it's just, if you like maybe going into a different bedroom and closing the door and like having like your own recharge time, you're not gonna get that at the Dutch Barn. But again, maybe you're not staying here for very long, so that's okay. And honestly, one of us would just go for a walk, or we would go to the store or whatever, or we would just tell the other person to be quiet and please go over by the other window, because we're gonna go over by one other window.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
They did actually have a couple of little Adirondack chairs outside as well. So there are some outdoor areas where you could go if you just wanted some recharge time.
Now you might be wondering, how much was the Dutch Barn? It was a very affordable $95 per night.
And honestly, for what you get, I think that's an incredible price. You get some beautiful, peaceful farmland, nice modern amenities, and yeah, it was a great choice for us.
Yeah, and if you want something to do nearby, there is an entire corn maze with sunflower fields. There's a whole dinosaur theme going on in there. There was a lot to do. If you have kids, it's going to be great. Although where those kids are going to sleep, I don't know, because the Dutch Barn's smaller.
Were we the only adults without children who decided to do this activity? Yes, we were.
Absolutely.
Do we mind? No, we do not.
No, we do not. It was worth it, and we would definitely recommend going there.
And last, we have the Old St. John ambulance station in Rye.
Nestled in the heart of Rye, and when we say heart, we mean right in the heart of Rye.
Right off High Street.
You have this incredibly modern, industrial, and unique Airbnb, and of the 30 plus we've stayed in this year, next to the Windmill, this definitely ranks up there in one of the most unique we've stayed in.
Absolutely. I know we've mentioned the other two were kind of short on space. This place was not short on space whatsoever. The main living floor is this gorgeous open concept living area. You have couches, you have a TV, you have possibly the largest dining room table I've ever sat at.
I think so, yeah.
And a gorgeous kitchen. So that was where we spend all of our time on that main living floor.
This place had 4 bedrooms, so there was one on the main floor. You go upstairs, you have another bedroom, which very much matches the one on the main floor. Then you have a bunk room. We have 2 separate smaller beds for kids with some sliding doors. And then you have the primary bedroom, which has one of our favorite features, which we'll get to in a moment, but tons of space. If you're a family coming here, it is going to be perfectly suited for you.
Why we loved this renovated ambulance station is first and foremost just the style and the vibe of the place was absolutely right up our alley. These incredible industrial architectural details.
Oh yeah, like the lights and all the different metal parts. But my favorite part of it was the trapezoidal window in the primary bedroom. You could look out in the streets of Rye and see what was going on. So that was just a really cool touch.
For sure. And then my favorite part on the main living floor are the huge sliding doors that you can kind of open, let the breeze in on those hot days, and it was hot while we were there. And just, that was my favorite part, is just sitting there on the couch, hanging out, feeling the breeze. It was incredible.
The downsides of the renovated ambulance station would probably be most immediately the price, which we'll tell you in a moment.
It is on the pricier side.
Yes. The other thing would probably be the fact that you're so close to the heart of everything that if you have those folding doors open, I mean, you're seeing everybody walk by. If someone's wearing their PJs, they're gonna see you in your PJs. So it's not like they're right next to the house, but they're close enough.
Yeah, you do have a gate, but even your gated off driveway is shared with another home as well. So just, yeah, you're not really secluded in any way, shape, or form. And as far as the cost of this place.
Yeah.
So again, depending on season, but on average, we're talking $513 per night.
Yeah, it's definitely the priciest Airbnb I think we stayed in this entire year.
But the thing I was thinking is, it was just the two of us. There's plenty of space in this home. So if you were sharing it with a couple.
Pick some people up off the street and
right
say,
off the street.
Hey, can you,
right off the street.
You want to share some space with me? Throw some money my way, cheap, make this Airbnb a little bit more affordable? You could totally do that.
Exactly. All right, that's it. Those are 3 of the most unique Airbnbs that we stayed in all year.
And renovated.
They were all renovated places, things, and they were all in England. We hope you enjoyed all of the tours. Now we think that it's time to identify what our favorite was.
Yeah, maybe on the count of 3, we'll say it at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
You think we picked the same one?
We'll find out.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Windmill!
Hey!
What?
I mean, we kind of do this.
Only because we talk about it all the time.
We've gone through these Airbnbs as we've been traveling, and the Windmill has just stayed at the top of the list because for the amount of money that they charge per night, for the experience that you get, for the uniqueness of the place, and the actual comfortability of it, that's why it gets that spot for me.
Yeah, it was absolutely magical. And even though it's not the most livable long-term place, when you stay in an Airbnb, you kind of want something that's unique and different from your everyday life. And this definitely it ticked all the boxes. It was a very beautiful place to stay, very romantic despite the lack of walls between the bathroom
the
and the living room.
toilet, yeah.
And Claire as a host was just incredible. So that one stood out the best.
Now, if you're a sleuthy watcher, you may have already clicked the description to see if we shared the links to the Airbnbs, which of course we did, so that you could check them out yourselves and maybe stay there. But that basically wrapped up our time in England. We just stayed in some cool Airbnbs.
That's right, and stay tuned for our next video, which is going to be an entirely different country. We will put up a little sneak peek right here.
Love the sneak peeks.
And we just thank you so much for following along on this incredible year. It's been a dream come true. We love sharing it with you all. We love reading your comments about all the places that we've gone. So we hope you enjoy.
Bye. Bye.